Hi, everybody. It's Karen Anderson here with Aortic Hope for our week in review. I'm going to warn you ahead of time. I am still almost 2 weeks post bad cold. So um, I may cough. I may cough. I might like cough up a lung at some point during this, but that's okay because it's just part of being real, right? Week in review. We do this every week to kind of go over the posts that we had on our social media, on our website, etc., and kind of give the public a chance to pop in, give us your thoughts, give us your opinions, banter a little bit, sometimes give away prizes. You never know what's going to happen. But this is really done so that we can kind of broaden our reach and try to find as many people that have aortic disease, patients, survivors, caregivers, and whatnot, and just kind of help educate them with accurate information. But before we get started, I need you to click the like button because you wouldn't be here if you didn't like it. So just like it ahead of time, right? And also click the share it because somebody else is going to derive some benefit from this, and click that subscribe button, especially the bell. Be notified of everything because we go live for a variety of different things. This obviously, we go live like our live Q&A, which is happening tomorrow, Tuesday, January 16th at 7 p.m. with Dr. Alan Braverman. This is going to be hosted by Jack Crow from Aortic Athletes and Carmen David. We go live when we have some very brave survivors that want to tell their stories and take their questions from you. So there's a, excuse me, there's a lot of opportunities to interact with us here on our AHTV YouTube channel. So that's why I need you to follow all those directions. And it's really, really pretty simple. So it's just Joshua and I today, I think, but we'll see if anybody else decides to pop in. So let's take it away. Let's get started. We're getting started here with it's our first post of the year. This is going back January 1st because we've got 2 weeks worth here because I was sick and so we missed the last one. But every year we create a theme that we want to focus on. For example, in 2020, we created and started our movement for movement. I say this every time. It was just prior to COVID. So we didn't know that the world was about to be shut down and everybody would have needed some inspiration to move their bodies. It was just happened to be that we created that was our campaign. And then in 21, we focused on emotional health. And in 22 was the start of community collaboration. And in 23, it was our help us help you be the best you can be in 2023. Well, this year we want you to receive more in 2024. And the best way to do that is really with self-love and self-care. And we're going to spend a lot of time over this year kind of giving you the tools and tips to do that, to take care of yourself, to receive more, to advocate for yourself. It all falls underneath that umbrella. But our goal in this organization is kind of to meet you where you are in your recovery from aortic disease. Where are you in your process? And that's where we want to be. We want to be right there with you during that process because we're stronger together. And all of us here at Aortic Hope have experienced aortic disease, whether we're a caregiver, we had an aneurysm, we have a connective tissue disorder, or we survived a dissection. So everybody here really kind of talks that talk and walks the walk. And our goal, again, is to help you receive more in 2024. And there's a lot of different ways you can do that. And here's how. So first, download a copy of Aortic Dissection, the Patient Guide, if you find that that's applicable to you. This guide has been written by patients and clinicians. It's been endorsed by the Society of Thoracic Surgeons and the Society of Vascular Surgery. And it's really kind of the A to Z of I've had an aortic dissection, now what? What does that mean for me? And it's the guide that everybody wishes existed when they had a dissection because it was collaborated with patients. It's really a very easy read, easy to understand guide that kind of explains definitions, the different types of dissection. Hey, let's go back. It explains what an aorta is because not a lot of people even knew what that was when this happens to them, or maybe their caregivers didn't know. But it's a great guide, even if you're going to be scheduling to have surgery, because it really explains a lot of what you might experience in the hospital with open heart surgery. I've had a lot of surgeries in my life, and this one's very different. It really hits you a little bit differently, and having a degree of preparation, I think, really sets you up for the best success. You also can receive more in 2024, as I mentioned, by being part of this AHTV YouTube channel, signing up. chatting with us, interacting with us. It's going to really give you an opportunity to get a lot out of this organization. Sign yourself or someone else up for Hope Mail. So Hope Mail is free, and it is an initiative that you have to sign up to receive. And what it means is you're going to receive a little token of acknowledgement or appreciation from us here at Aortic Hope once within a year during an aortiversary month of your choosing. So I know a lot of people have been through this a couple times and they want to pick a couple months. It kind of doesn't work like that. You get one time to get the item, and every year it's a little different. In 23, we gave heart-shaped stress balls, and we gave heart-shaped hot cold packs, which I think were probably the second best things we've given away so far. I mean, I kind of do love the pill cases as well, the keychains. But this year we were asked, we heard and we listened, we were asked to create items that we could give away that would really help with emotional wear and tear and anxiety and stress. And in the spirit of receiving more in 2024 and self love, we fulfilled those needs. So, what you will be receiving free this year is it's like a Sensi strip. For tactile stimulation or calming. It's a calming strip. That's what it is. It took me a while to get there, but I got there. It's a calming strip. You can tape it to your desk, to the back of your phone, to a keychain, whatever. And when you feel stressed, for people that like to a certain sensation when they touch, you can just kind of rub your finger over this strip, and it's supposed to be calming. I don't like it, but that's just me. I just don't love that, but I love everything else. So we are also giving a chapstick, some lip balm. We are also giving a color. It's like an adult coloring book with affirmations and a box of colored pencils. So you can take them on the road with you. If you're going on a road trip, you're sitting on the plane, getting up in the morning, can't sleep at night, whatever the case is, you'll get your dose of positive affirmations and have an opportunity to be creative, use your mind in different ways. And it's kind of relaxing and calming. So that's what you're getting if you sign up for Hope Mail. Be a shining star in someone's life. Excuse me. Sign up to be part of our Survivor series. And what that means is we get a chance to feature you. This could be you, the survivor, you, the caregiver, or you, an individual who might have lost a friend or a family member to aortic disease. We want you to tell the story. We want you to educate us. And what you're going to find is it's going to be very therapeutic for you. It might be very emotional, but that's okay. Because for all of us receiving and listening to your story, it's very validating. And it also creates some questions that we can take back to our physicians and start our own conversations going. Um, I'm always amazed at these stories. And every time I read a story, I think, oh my gosh, like my story just it pales in comparison. Nothing really happened. I have no room to complain. This is not a competition. Everybody's story is whatever it is for them. So you can't compare against somebody else's. All you can do is learn from it and use the tools of what you're reading in their experience to continue to advocate for yourself or family members in the future. So again, you can be featured and create a written story. You can do a pre-recorded video, or you can do what I'm doing and go live. And then hopefully you'll get some questions from the community and have an opportunity to interact with them as well. Okay. Another way that you can receive more in 2024 is be part of our support group community. These support group meetings, I think what really makes us unique is that they are moderated by survivors or caregivers or individuals who have experienced loss due to aortic disease. They're not monitored or moderated by physicians or by nurses. And I know a lot of support group meetings for a variety of illnesses and conditions are moderated that way, and they're very effective. And that's great. That's the ones I've always used to attend for Crohn's and colitis. However, I see the difference. I see the benefit in having it being a self-sustaining environment and having it be moderated by one of my own. Look, nobody's going to know what it feels like to have a chest tube taken out other than somebody who's had a chest tube taken out. There is no nurse or doctor that can fully explain what I'm about to feel unless they had it done to them. So, there's certain cases where talking with somebody who's been through a somewhat similar experience really makes all the difference in the world. And if you're looking for a sense of community, if you're looking to listen to stories, that might even remotely look similar to your own. If you want to share your story and educate and enlighten other people, if you're looking to form everlasting friendships that may move you into our hangout session, which you sign up for that the same way you would a support group meeting, except hangouts are much more casual and they literally are the title. You're just hanging out with a bunch of people, having a really nice time. These groups may very well be for you. So caregivers are strictly for caregivers. They have their own set of special needs and circumstances. And I think for a lot of caregivers expressing frustration, their own grief, their own PTS, their own um, resentment, guilt. They need a sacred place to be able to do that. And all of the patients need their place to do it as well. And grief was a whole section that had just been left out as if it didn't exist. But for a lot of people, they were caregivers and then they lost their loved ones, or they never even got to be a caregiver because their loved one never made it through surgery or through recovery. And that's a whole other set of circumstances. Plus, they have now potential other family members that they have to have screened and monitored for the rest of their lives. So, if you want to receive more and feel supported, then you want to consider joining one of our support groups. Or if you need something a little bit less heavy, then go to our Hangouts. Another way that you can receive more in 2024 is to sign up to be an ambassador. Our Hope ambassadors are volunteers that kind of do what they feel excited to do for Aortic Hope when they have time to do it. So there is no set time limit. There is no set time period that you have to be actively engaged with us. We love any amount of engagement that you're willing to do and support for us, because nobody on the board is ever compensated for their volunteerism with Aortic Hope. None of the volunteers are. We truly do this. It's a labor of love. And the satisfaction and the feeling we get knowing we've helped somebody is the payment that we receive, because it actually helps us. Helping you helps us. So if you want to have that same feeling too, then sign up to be an ambassador. Someone will reach out to you. So please check your junk mail in case you don't get that, because that's really the only way that we have to reach out to you if you are only giving us your email. And we're just going to write you right back and see what it is you can do. But for all of you, the easiest thing all of you can do is like and share our content. Because the more you like and share the content, the more people are able to learn about us, are able to join support groups, are able to become educated. It takes a village, right? It takes all of us to kind of get in touch with everyone to help them feel supported. So that's an easy thing. You don't even need to sign up to do that. You just do it. All right. It's important to keep your eye out for future dates and times where there may be fundraisers. Rotary might want to have a guest speaker. Your local community college might want a guest speaker. These are opportunities for you to meet other people face to face, for you to participate in the community and also assist Aortic Hope. And we might be coming to a town near you. We've got people representing Aortic Hope across the country, all the way from East Coast to West Coast and many other states. And I'm still trying to remember where they're located on the map. And it is embarrassing, but it is true. But they're everywhere and they're popping up daily. And we're so excited about that. And we're so honored. So just keep your eye out on our events page. There may be something happening near you. And we always look for an opportunity to meet our community members and have a chance to place faces with names. Another way that you can help is, of course, to donate. This stuff just doesn't happen by magic, right? So we are able to provide everything that we provide based upon the generosity of our donors like you. So there's so many different ways you can donate. If you click the donate button up here in our website, it'll take you to a couple different electronic options. There's always the option of sending us a check as well. If you ever have any questions, just shoot us an email at info@aortichope.org, and we would love to explain the various ways that you can receive more in 2024. That was a lot, Josh.
You
It's a lot.
you nailed it. First one in was beautiful. I want to say hi to Christina. She
Hi,
said
Christina.
she said thank you for your aortiversary gift. Tomorrow will be her 10 years post
Oh my
dissection.
gosh.
I know.
That's amazing. I love hearing that. It gives me such hope that I'll get to my 10 next year.
You will. I asked her if she was going to go out to eat to celebrate, and she said Texas is on a halt due to unusual cold and sleet, so she's going to have to cook.
That's right.
She's
Hey,
not
I'm
sure
heading
yet.
out to Texas next week. If you're anywhere near San Antonio, hit me with an email. We're going to be out there at a conference. I love
Ah,
an
love
opportunity to
to
meet
hear
people.
that.
Yeah.
And
Hope it's going to be warm.
you might enjoy this.
But
Tony Montana has jumped into our chat saying, "Fantastic guide."
thank you.
Yeah,
That's wonderful. We really appreciate it.
he is out of Australia.
Oh my gosh, can't even imagine. What time is it there?
Unsure. He says,
I'm unsure
"Good day,
too.
mate."
I hate to say it, Tony. I have a lot of people. Um, and look, I got to be honest and give first before I get to what I was going to say. The guide, we appreciate the love about the guide, and I'm going to throw it right back to our friends over at Aortic Dissection Awareness UK and Ireland because they created that guide from scratch. We took it and completely tore it apart to make it fit in the United States, and so each country really is in the process of kind of doing that right now because the stats, the medications that are first line, the could be the treatments and the procedures might not be the same, and who does what first. Support might be different. So we kind of had to really tear it apart, but we are presently now working on writing the second book that then we will share with the UK and Ireland and let them tear apart. So it is so much fun to get a chance to collaborate on this and to see. I'm so overwhelmed at the thought of starting from scratch, but excited as well. Just putting together what we think will be the table of contents for aortic disease, the patient guide is it just, oh my gosh, it gets me so excited. But what I was going to say, Tony, is growing up, my favorite animal of my whole entire life was always the koala bear, right? So I'm going to Australia one day. And then I got older and I realized what kind of size spiders you guys have over there. And I said, I will never go to Australia. And I don't mean to be mean because I would love to go. But if I woke up and I saw one of those that you need to put a leash on and escort outside, I I don't know what I would do. I lose my mind at the smallest eight-legged arachnid. I can't even imagine. Those are head they are they're very big. I have a problem with that.
Yeah, I
I
see
have
it
a
hitting you
problem.
right now just thinking about it.
To me.
They have a thing called a huntsman spider,
Oh
and
yes, I've seen.
I saw on the internet some dude like comes up to a red light and honks at the guy, and he goes, "You have a huntsman spider on the
My
back of
God.
your car," and he goes, "Yeah, he's been there for weeks."
No. Did you ever see the one of it was underneath like the rim in the toilet? Oh,
Oh,
oh
oh,
no. No. It's just a no. Oh, it's a no because you can't even step on them because it would be juicy. I don't want to talk about
I
it.
feel
I
like
don't
you would get
and
experience points for taking one of those down. He says it's 7:15 a.m. and he also says that the guide is perfect, trust me. He had
thank you.
an A type with a valve replacement, but the root was intact. And
Wow.
Tony, I just want to let you know I am the producer for the Survivor series, so you fill out that form and I will record that story from you, sir.
Yes.
I'd be
We would
happy to
like
take it.
to feature you. Please fill out the form and we will be all over that for sure. But
He
thank you again
says
about the book.
huntsmen are insane. I think my favorite thing
Yeah.
so far about Tony's name is that this is Scarface. Scarface's name was Tony Montana.
I thought it sounded
I know.
familiar,
I was
and I
like,
was like, "Who just wrote us? What?" I feel like I'm registering something in my memory bank. That's pretty funny that you
so
said that.
good. So good.
All right, we are moving on to our topic Tuesday. Uh, I want to see where it went.
What'd you do there?
Here it comes.
There it is.
There it is. Just needed a minute. So apropos, right? Because we posted this about Chinese exercise on the morning of the day that of the week we started our Qigong series. 2 days later. So again, with our goal being receive more in 2024, starting Thursday, which was last week, but every Thursday in January and February, we are going to have a community member, Kevin Songer. He also is a survivor and he started the Facebook page, Aortic Dissection Life and Cardiovascular Health. He is teaching the community Qigong, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard, right here on AHTV. But if you can't be there because you're sleeping in Australia, you can always watch it in replay. And I'm so far loving it. I really like everything we did this past week. We're starting to get into some more forms, and I just have to get a better chair, I think, because my chair leans back and then I get really relaxed and I feel like I'm going to fall out of the chair. But Qigong is something that I would be stunned if a doctor said you couldn't do it. It is extremely low to no impact and it's just movement, but you will feel it. You definitely feel it in your shoulders just by holding your arms up and your core, just to engage, breathing constantly, which is the key to everything. Uh, Talk to your physician. Join us on Thursday. But if you have any heart problems or high blood pressure issues, you might want to consider Chinese exercise, Tai Chi, and Qigong. They're really good examples of things that you could try. They can make you healthier, make you happier. And this is according to a study in the Journal of the American Heart Association. These exercises can actually also help people who have had a stroke. So there's an article link if you want to check out more about the benefits of Chinese exercise like Tai Chi or Qigong. But I highly recommend you consider joining us on Thursday evenings for the next couple weeks at 7 p.m. And that was our topic Tuesday.
I have to say
That
before
was
you
it.
click off of that,
Yes.
Kevin is I love the way he does this, and the best part about it is he's 13 years out from his
Yeah.
aortic dissection, and he talks. He keeps bringing it back to that early stage when he was just sitting in the couch or sitting in the recliner, and he remembers that the shoulders were just getting not just atrophied, but like they were just not because you weren't moving, because you weren't trying to
Right.
put your hands over your head. Like
You
these things,
can't.
yeah, he's just like he just hits it over and over again. He's like, just remember, this is just movement. We want to move everything. We want to make sure your joints are getting lubricated
Yeah.
with movement. You're gonna feel it. And Terry was hilarious in the chat. It's so
Oh, I think it was
good.
Christina. I think it was Christina, and she's just like, "Oh my God, I'm not gonna be able to move my arms tomorrow." Yeah, that was pretty funny. But it's true. I mean, but you can't move. You're so limited on your movement and just focused on am I still alive and breathing? And by the time you get around to cardiac rehab, you might have the beginning stage of a frozen shoulder setting in. So yeah, like having an opportunity to learn this in conjunction with breathing techniques, if you do need surgery, this is really beneficial. It's a great way to get back into uh, regaining some confidence when it comes to any type of exercise program. I think it's a great way.
Agreed.
Okay, next post. I don't remember. Oh, this was our welcome post. We were welcoming Sarah Copeland as our director of marketing. So she's so creative. She's got a lot of creative, fun ideas when it comes to utilizing platforms like TikTok, Instagram. She also has her own business. She's come up with a couple ideas already for things that we can implement on initiatives. Going to keep them secret for right now, but really excited to have her. An interesting story on why she's so excited to be with us. So, Sarah started her aortic journey when her mother had an aortic dissection, and she became the caregiver in her recovery. Sadly, she did pass away unexpectedly 2.5 months after her surgery from complications. This was in 2017. So Sarah began researching and trying to really understand uh, what this thing was that took her mother. 5 years later, Sarah was actually diagnosed with a thoracic aortic aneurysm, and she has two daughters she wants to prevent from having to go through the same experience. So she's really taken the extra steps to kind of help spread awareness and educate people about aortic disease. She is a graphic designer, social media influencer, published author, list goes on, entrepreneur, wife, mother. She has a deep passion for helping others and really can't wait to start this adventure with us that she's already started for 2024. So, everybody, welcome Sarah. Sarah is the kind of person that is going to call me. We have a call scheduled next weekend, and we're going to sit there and I've already got the board. I've tasked them with creating a couple small videos so that we can start producing something that I can throw up on Reels, throw up on my YouTube, and throw onto a new TikTok channel. So yeah, we're gonna try. I'm trying. I'm gonna try. I don't know. Trying. Hope I don't break a hip in the process because I'm not really that spry and young. But we're gonna see. So welcome, Sarah. We're excited. Excited to have you.
It's gonna be awesome. Welcome, Sarah.
And she's gonna share her survivor story too. So that's exciting as well. All right, we're moving on. Computer's gotta catch up. It's all the snow. Therapeutic Thursday. All right. That Thursday was all about making resolutions. Why do we even make resolutions? I mean, I don't know how many people even keep resolutions, but every year, millions of people make these resolutions to improve their lives, but only a few of them actually stick with anything. And I am not going to confirm or deny if I'm one of those millions, but I don't even know why that is. Like, why do we even go through this? I'm going to make a resolution. So silly. But there's many different reasons. But one of them is that resolutions are often way too vague. That's why they don't stick with them. They're unrealistic or they're just plain old boring. So, how can you make resolutions actually work for you? Here's some tips. Be specific. So instead of saying, I'm going to make a resolution and I'm going to lose weight, just say, I'm going to lose 10 pounds, right? And I'm going to try to do it by March, or I'm going to try to lose 5. Like, make it even more realistic. I like to shoot low so that if I go above it, I'm super excited. Because if I shoot high and I fall short, I'll be sad. That's just my could be pessimistic way, or maybe I'm just extremely realistic. I'm not sure. But instead of just making it vague, have that goal. And let's even break it down more. What if your goal was simply, I'm giving up all soda, regardless if it's diet or regular? I'm going to give it up for 1 week. Let's keep breaking it down. Make the goal something that you really think you might actually stand a chance to achieve, because then you'll be really happy that you did, right? So be specific with your goals. Be realistic. That's important too. So don't set goals that are really impossible to achieve. Like, don't make yourself miserable and say, I'm never going to eat chocolate again. Though that's so stupid. How about say, I'm going to allow myself one of those like little mini pieces of chocolate that we get around Halloween. I'm going to allow myself 1 or 2 of those in the week. Put them in a baggie, and that's your stash. That's realistic. Reduce how much you are having. Don't eliminate unless you like have an allergy and you have to eliminate. But I'd say just make it more realistic and be fun. Choose a resolution that's going to be enjoyable, not something that's going to make you feel horrible. Maybe it's a reward that you get at the end of accomplishment of the goal. So instead of saying, I'm going to exercise more, how about just say, I'm going to join a dance class, or I'm going to take a hike. I'm just going to go take a nice hike with a bunch of people and just talk and have a conversation through it. I mean, even just say, I'm going to walk around the inside of a mall, for those of you that have malls that are still open in a town near you. Those make great. We had this debate, Josh, but they do make great places to walk if you don't bring any money in with you or any gadgets that you can just Apple, Google Pays, and all these things that I'm starting to have more confidence doing. Just actually
Yeah.
legitimately make it be about the walk.
Yeah, get inside, get out of the cold, for sure. For sure.
There's nobody in malls anymore.
Exactly.
So you're like the only one.
That was part of the
It's like
problem that we
perfect.
talked about before. Because I mean, being able to people watch is kind of is the best part about being in a
True.
mall in the first place.
That's true.
In
But
uh,
look,
in my
go
late
ahead.
20s,
Yeah,
I made one of these resolutions to just smile at random people anytime I was
yeah.
out, to try to walk around with a smile on my face. And it's a good thing to try. You'd be surprised how
Hmm.
many more people are open and all of that jazz. People
Sure.
will constantly walk up to me as if I was a manager at one of these places that I was at, and they would ask me questions. I'd be like, I really wish I worked here because I can't help you.
That's pretty funny. I can see that though. I could see someone thinking maybe you were, but you are a friendly person.
Oh, of course I am.
Yeah.
The funnest place that this ever happened to me was in Vegas. I was out there meeting colleagues, and I'm standing there and I'm waiting for them to finish checking in at the front desk, and I'm just relaxing. There's a sea of people walking around me, and this very wonderful couple come walking up to me, and they're like, "Can you tell me where to get to wherever, wherever, wherever?" And I was just like, "I got here 25 minutes ago. I don't know where anything is."
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, good
But
stuff.
you had one of those approachable,
I think
you
so.
know, yeah, I
I'm
think
always
so.
smirking. That's what happens.
Uh, I don't think I looked approachable. Depends on the day. I'm just being honest, real. I don't think I do. I think I'm so into what I'm doing that I don't know. I don't pay attention. I'm very unobservant
Mm,
about my surroundings like that.
in your
So
own little
anybody who wants to
bubble.
come and stalk me, I'm just telling you I'm unobservant. That was silly. Okay. All
So
right.
Melissa jumped in to say hi, and
Ah,
Tony says he's given up everything since the operation 4 months ago. Blood results are fantastic, so there is hope.
need to be more like Tony.
Also, Christina chimed in to say she didn't have any shoulder pains afterward. She thinks because there wasn't any
Yeah.
weights involved.
Well, so I did, but I also have that lateral
Yeah,
cut under the
yeah.
collarbone. And I think it's well, I mean, everybody who had it as emergency is at risk for this. It could have just been something in the way that you're positioned with your arms spread across the table. But I noticed that about a few months after surgery, my husband told me that I was walking around with like one shoulder up. I didn't even know it. The other one had relaxed. The right one was, I didn't even know, constantly up. And in x rays and follow up things, you could see that my shoulder was up like this, and it didn't matter. I couldn't get it to relax. And then the pain started under my shoulder blade. And it took a year for that shoulder to freeze. And there's nothing they can do until it's frozen. I mean, I tried all the exercises, and then I had to have it I had a manipulation under anesthesia. And it was painful, but eventually worked itself out. So I'm always, swinging that arm around to make sure it doesn't freeze again. But yeah, I don't think I'm the only one who that's happened to. But that makes sense because if something's going to happen, it's going to happen to me. Just say it's going to happen. All right. We're moving on to that First Friday. It was our First Friday fundraiser. We do this every single month. We have a First Friday fundraiser. Just a couple things we want to make mention of. Sometimes we have some specials on different things. We've been known in the past to create different logos or use our iconic logos, like you hear our original logo, and have limited edition shirts or long sleeve shirts or hoodies. We haven't done that in a while because we've got this great shop now. So here's the tagline: don't delay, grab some swag today and start a conversation about aortic dissection. So when we or aortic disease. So when we put this out, everybody had, and we still have until the 17th, right? Because today's the 15th.
Yep, couple
You
more
still
days.
have until the 17th to redeem the code at the top of the page. You don't even need a code. You just click the word redeem and you'll get 24% off. So that's kind of cool. You'll get 24% off until the 17th for 2024 on whatever you want from the shop. And we've got so many different wonderful fun things: sweatshirts, t-shirts, hats. There may still be the Santa hat up there. A lot of electronics, mugs, totes, the whole nine yards. Lots of different logo choices, lots of color choices, style choices. There's so much in there. It's too much to put up on one page. But when you get a chance, check it out, because we do get a small percentage of the sales. And again, 100% of the monies that we earn go right back into being able to provide the initiatives that we provide. And one of the things that we have coming up very soon is launching the aortic dissection, the patient guide in Spanish. It is in the works right now with the publisher, um, being revamped and reformatted and all that good stuff. But it has been written, and we are just waiting to get it back so we can give it to anybody who wants it and be able to download it and take pre-orders from doctors. So it's stuff like these sales. Every little bit goes towards things like that, or goes towards the Hope Mail or care packages, towards our podcasts, towards everything that we do here. So every little bit helps, and you should check out our spread shop. Check it out. Get your 24% off.
Yay!
Survivor Series with Mike Niederreiter. I had to Google how to pronounce Niederreiter because I was way off and it would have been really bad. But we're going to read a little bit of this for you. This is an example of a written blog. August 29th, 2023. We're only talking a few months ago, kind of similar to Tony. I'm going to read this the way it's written. So this is coming from Mike. I jumped into my rental car and headed out from central Pennsylvania to a project site about 5 hours north in upstate New York for a client meeting the following day. As planned, a group of us, including work colleagues and representatives from the client team, met at the site the next morning at around 8:30 or around 8 a.m. to walk the property and set the stage for a late morning meeting at a local hotel conference room. The site walk went well, and I felt fine. In fact, I texted my wife, Kim, around 9:30 a.m. to check in and let her know that everything was good. Shortly after 10 a.m., we met back at the hotel as planned to go through a presentation that we had prepared for the next phase of this project. There were probably around 20 of us sitting around a U-shaped table arrangement, running through a PowerPoint presentation and discussing the various aspects of the project. At some point during the early part of the presentation, I began to have some unusual tightness and subtle pain in my chest and generally started to feel uncomfortable. Up until that point, I felt fine, certainly nothing unusual. There was no warning or any symptom that I recall indicating there was any sort of issue. As time passed, the tightness in my chest got worse and my right leg began feeling numb. The numbness in my leg was not necessarily unusual, owing to some lower back issues I previously had addressed through surgery about a year and a half prior to this event. My solution was simply to shift my position on the conference room chair, which ultimately did nothing to relieve the discomfort, but at the time it made sense. It made sense. At that point, all kinds of thoughts were running through my head. Was I having a heart attack or a stroke, or was this some about high level bout of stress induced anxiety associated with some project challenges? In any event, I continued to keep it all to myself in consideration of the meeting environment and not wanting to cause a fuss over something that I could not explain and assumed it would eventually pass. Went on for about 20 or 30 minutes, and let's just say, suffice it to say, it did not pass. So you'll need to read the rest of the story to find out everything juicy that happened to Mike. Interesting story. As I mentioned before, there's always a lot to learn, always a lot to compare in symptoms, because I think one of the misnomers with dissections, especially, is that you're going to be in this hellacious pain. You're going to feel like your body's being ripped open. Yeah, there's plenty of people that say they feel like they're being ripped in two, but there's also plenty of people that just don't necessarily feel great, and they know it's a feeling they've not for sure felt before, but so you might feel like you have acid reflux, but it's a different kind of acid reflux. You might feel you have pain in your leg, but it's a different pain in your leg. And so it's weird. It's like the brain knows something's very off, but I don't know for sure what's off because it doesn't seem horrible, but it's not normal, if that makes any sense. And so either it's going to be really, really bad or it's not going to be super bad, but you just know something's not right. And blood pressure might not even indicate that there's anything wrong. You might not even have high blood pressure. It could be 138, 140. So that's not a great indicator that something's really wrong. So it's hard to tell people you'll know when you know, because you might not know, but you just know something's off, right? And if you know you have an aneurysm, those are one of those times where, hey, you know what, in about 15 minutes or so, or whatever you've discussed with your doctor, if things aren't changing, you might want to consider making sure that everything's all right. There's never anything wrong with making sure everything's all right. But in Mike's case, you really want to read what he has to say here. It's pretty interesting stuff. And again, we would love to have a story from you. So feel free to click the link, Tony, and get us your survivor story or be featured here live or in a pre-recorded message. That's our survivor stories.
Right on. We might have a correction here. Christina looks like
Okay.
she went to go check on the 24% off, and it looks like it's free shipping rather than
Oh,
24%
you
off.
know why? Oh, I thought that went till the 17th. Oh, that might have ended. Maybe we had the date wrong. Correct. It is now free shipping.
Okay.
I'm sorry for that. But free shipping, still free shipping. That changed this past Friday. Correct. Yes. But it should have lasted till the 17th to redeem. I might have put the wrong date in. My mistake. It can happen. I'm human. Sorry. But you do get free shipping. But thanks for checking. I appreciate it. I screwed up that date. That's what being human's all about. making making a mistake. I probably wrote it down when I didn't feel good. So my head just made my sinuses made my vision blurry. How's that for an excuse? All right, we're going to move on to Sunday because Sunday's another great post. More hope swag. Let's talk about this hope swag, though, and how you can start another conversation about aortic disease. These are incredible. I think this is the greatest invention next to Lawrence Hope medical identification jewelry. We offer these help belt seatbelt covers. We have paired with the person who created these seatbelt covers, who started this company. She was the original one. She started it because her son had a disability, and from a very young age, while she was able to pin a note to the car seat in case, God forbid, she was in a car accident and they didn't know what to do with her child. Once her child became older, that note got ripped off constantly. So she created this thing to wrap around the seatbelt. It was brilliant. And it's brilliant for all of us here. We have so many different sayings that you can order. So, first of all, you have three colors you can pick: yellow, red, or black. These seatbelt covers actually Velcro around your seatbelt. So it doesn't matter which side of the car you're on, you just wrap it around and Velcro it. But on the inside pocket, there is a card that folds up where you can put your ice in case of emergency, contact information, your allergies, your condition, anything you want. that you would want first responders to know. Because if you take a look at this symbol right here, this is the universal medic alert symbol. So if you're in a car accident or you're in a situation where you can't speak for yourself and there's no one with you, they're going to see this on your bell cover and they're going to know to take a minute. Of course, then you have this information on the bell cover, which tells you a condition. Your choices that we offer presently is abdominal aortic aneurysm, thoracic aortic aneurysm, aortic dissection, regular medic alert, Marfan syndrome, Loeys-Dietz syndrome, vascular Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and new for 2024, we have blood thinners and pacemaker. So there's at least 10 options. You also can order some of these in French, Spanish if you would like, and they always, of course, come in English. So you've got 3 colors and numerous sayings to choose from. This is the type of thing you want to share and tell your neighbor, because if they have a medical condition, they could easily choose medic alert. And then the first responder will know to go inside and read the card. It's very simple. And they are easy to wash with a sponge soapy water. If you get anything on it, it comes right off. You can even put this attached to your backpack if you're going on a hike, to a leash if you're taking a walk with your animal. If you have a diaper bag, you can just slap one on there if you need to. So it doesn't have to just be on your cart. You can put it on your bike, right? I think I said that word because it sounds like I said it or I read it. Put it on one of the bars. It'll wrap right around there too. So this way you can feel a little bit more protected if you're out riding a bike and something happens. At least somebody gets a chance to see what's going on. So if you are within the United States, it's with a $15 donation. If you're outside, it's going to be a $20 donation. But yeah, these are great. There's a link here for you to click, or you can just go into our Hope Shops and you'll find out. Sorry, hit the mic. You'll find out how to order them today. But must have for you guys in 2024. Okay. I think, yeah, we completed the first week. Here we go.
Yay! Christina says that she got the seatbelt cover, and it's peace of mind for sure,
Yeah,
right?
definitely. Yeah.
Tony's sharing with us a little bit about what happened with him. Took him 48 hours to present himself to A&E, then 15 minutes was under the knife for 14 hours.
That's a story we need to know more
I know,
details
right?
about.
He
Okay, because
says,
my surgery was 5.5. So what happened?
mm,
I need to know more,
yeah. He
is
says
what
the
I'm
first
saying.
24 was okay because I was like, "Ooh, you just
Yeah.
toughed out the pain." The first 24 hours okay, and then it started to get really bad into the 24, 48. He thought he had
Hmm.
COVID at the start.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense. I mean, I'm thinking when it happened to me, I felt a weird pop in my neck and thought I had really bad reflux. I had Crohn's disease. So I thought that this was all related to a chicken teriyaki sandwich I had for lunch. But at some point I lost the sensation in my arms and legs, um nerve block, like Novocaine out, no pins and needles, no sensation. It was gone. And then adrenaline kicked in and it came back. And that's when I knew that I had really bad gas pushing on my spinal cord. That's what I knew 100%. I told everybody that's what it was. And by the grace of God, actually, by the fact that I advocated for myself, and this hospital that I went to knew my medical history and my father's, who had an abdominal aneurysm, knew I detached retinas, knew there was some kind of medical history there. They ordered a CT scan. So probably within, I'd say, the first, from the minute it happened, right around 4:30, I was in the big hospital by 11. So yeah, that sounds long, 7 hours, but when you first go back and they're checking you out and they're waiting for the D dimer to come back, even though your EKG looks good and they want to make sure no heart attack, I have to be pre medicated before I have a CT scan. And at the end of the day, that's still going to be faster than trying to wait in line for an MRI that can take 45 minutes. So either way, I ended up with the CT and they knew right away what happened, but it was icy. So for me, that lag time in the beginning was simply logistics. How do I get from point A to point B when they can't fly me in an ice storm and it's really bad driving? So there was a lot of transportation issues at hand. But once I got in, I had 5 minutes to say goodbye, and then I was under the knife, and it was 5.5 hours, and that was it. They did a valve sparing, and I dissected from it was my ascending, but when I was under surgery, I finished that dissection all the way down to the left iliac. So I was out and wasn't aware of any of that. So yeah, I need to know more, Tony. I need to know more about 14 hours.
I hear you. He says serious complications, had
Mm.
AKI, but kidneys are fantastic now.
Yeah. I was thinking maybe it had to be
It had to be
some organ
complications for
issue.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, we need to hear from you and we need to feature you. So that has to happen in 2024. I want to receive more in 2024. All right, let's move on to Movement for Movement Monday. We've talked about this a lot. I've mentioned it today. We started our Movement for Movement really because people are afraid to move. They're afraid to move. I get it. I could not understand how I could have open heart surgery and when I sneeze, not implode. But look, pregnant women go through this a lot anyway. We don't understand how we can sneeze and a baby doesn't just fly out. So it's this a lot of this is psychological and pain, and we just don't really understand how our bodies are operating, but it's so important to move. And that was the whole point of creating this movement for movement. And whatever your doctor's orders are, you need to try to do them, right? So we know that for some people, doing nothing is doing exactly what you need to do. I get it. I get that a lot. I do that a lot. And we know for other people that sometimes you just need a little bit of motivation and inspiration to just get moving. So whatever you're cleared to do, that's what we need you to do. If you're cleared to go to the mailbox, go to the mailbox. If you're cleared to walk and you've got one of these snowstorms, freezing cold weather that's not great for you to breathe in because of the change of blood pressure, walk around the first floor or your apartment, whatever case may be. Walk one direction, walk another direction. You're not on a marathon here. I mean, it's not a sprint. It is a marathon, but it's a slow marathon. We're not out for time. We're out for listen to some music and see if your dog walks with you. Everybody can get exercise at the same time. Don't tackle all the stairs, but just walk. Just walk. And if walking's not your thing, go clean out your pantry. You're moving your body. Your blood is flowing. Your heart is pounding. Clean out your closet. Don't overexert yourself, of course. Get everything cleared from your physician. But fear can hold us back. Fear that if we move and we have an aneurysm, it might grow. That's not how these things work. That's not how the mechanics of the body works. If your doctor says move, then you need to just try to move. And I will suggest that if you are not cleared for cardiac rehab, and I don't know how all the insurances work all around the world, but try to talk to your doctor about physical therapy because a doctor of physical therapy should know how to try to help you when it comes to feeling confident in breathing, diaphragmatic breathing. They're going to teach you stamina, stretching, simple basic movements while you can't reach overhead or behind your back. They're going to help build up your stamina and get you to a point where you can move and you feel really comfortable. So, movement for movement, we will be giving reminders throughout the year. Sometimes we do some giveaways if you post and you participate and answer the questions we ask. But whatever it is, we just encourage you to move if that's what your doctor has told you you can do.
Right on.
That's our movement for movement.
Right on. Melissa jumped in to go walk the big stores, Costco, Sam's, IKEA,
Yes.
right? Just like you with the retail therapy.
I'm so about retail therapy. And you can put me in any store. Put me in an office store, I'm going to find some office supplies. I will buy it and I will buy it like a boss. I might go back and return it because I like a transaction. You put me in Home Depot, I'm going to buy a block of wood because they smell good and I just want it. And I want to buy something. I'm going to find something to buy no matter what store you put me in. It's the act of transactions. Yeah. That's my reward if I walk around all of Home Depot. I'm beelining it at the end. If I go with my husband, I'll be right back, babe, and I'm gonna go find the wood because I love that department. I know it's a little weird. It's okay. It's all right. All right, let's go. First topic Tuesday of 2024 happened last week. And this was from Adam. I think he's going to be our third year med student forever because I'm not sure if he's still third year or if he's now fourth. I think he's still third and he goes to fourth in September of this year. And we have Duke. And Duke was our fourth year, but he might be a resident now. So I need to check in. I'm not sure. I've lost track of time. But this is a post written by Adam. And yeah, one of the most common New Year's resolution, look at what we've been talking about, that people make is this goal of exercising more and getting control over their health, and for good reason. Currently, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services suggests all adults try to engage in at least 150 minutes. What? Of moderate intensity or 75 minutes of high intensity aerobic physical activity each week. My gosh, I am so can't no. I used to be able to. I got other issues. We'll talk about that another day, but that just makes me all anxiety ridden. All right. You know what this means? That even something as small as 25-minute walk every day really will help your body stay healthy. And that's easy. That's going to the grocery store. You'll pull 25 minutes in no time. So while exercise is a great goal for people living with aortic disease, it's important to ensure that you're engaging in activities that will strengthen your cardiovascular endurance without adding unnecessary strain on your heart or your aorta. As most things that we discuss in these posts, the best thing you can do is start by what? Talking about this with your doctor, reviewing these goals with your doctor, opening up this dialogue with your healthcare team will actually allow you to receive more tailored advice for your body and follow up with a professional that actually knows you very well. See, receiving more in 2024. It's happening everywhere. For those that are new to exercising and interested in getting some more information on what activities might be suited to them, to discuss with their doctor, we suggest that you take a look at this really incredible article posted by Living with Aortic Dissection. Goes into several suggestions of forms of mild to moderate difficulty exercises that can really help lower your blood pressure and help you stay in shape. Also, taking into consideration your heart rate. And these are the easy things like walking. Everybody has to walk. We all have to walk. So just walk. Swimming is a good one. I know some community members have discussed that they can feel the pressure sometimes in their chest if they're in the deeper end or they go under the water. So you know what? Backstroke, any stroke, you do whatever you're comfortable with doing. Take your time and kind of enjoy it. I know I like to do that a lot in the summer. I like looking up and seeing the clouds and waiting for the flags to go over in the lap pool. Um, I'm not an ocean swimmer for so many reasons. One being that I don't really feel like I have the same balance I once had, and two being I'm going to lose the battle with the ocean critters. So I prefer being in a pool where I see to the bottom and there's no critters. That's just me. Light jogging. Light jogging. If you can do it, you should try to do it. Nobody's making the goal be a marathon or even a 5K. Biking. Biking's good. We're not talking about you having to do a big Peloton workout. Just ride the bike, listen to some music, watch the news, if you're at the gym or you have a bike at home. Stair climbers. Now, for me, that would be extremely challenging. I think it's because of it's the compromised blood flow probably from the dissection. I'm not really great with stairs, and I also have a valve that's not doing too well. Dancing. So, I love a good Cupid shuffle in my house. It really works the thighs. Just turn on the TV, pull up your YouTube, put it on your phone, and dance like nobody's watching because if nobody's home, nobody is watching, unless it's me and I'm trying to film some TikTok video. But dancing's great. You will burn some calories and get your heart pumping. Then there's also yoga. And yoga's great too. Personally, I don't like this downward dog. I don't like any time that my head is in a hanging position like that. The blood just hurts too much when it pulls down. But there's a lot of modifications from what I understand. I really haven't done it. But again, we're offering, an opportunity for you to even take Qigong. And again, that's still movement. So lots of opportunities there. But while intense, heavy weight training and contact sports are generally not recommended for patients with a history of aortic surgery, those interested in pursuing those types of activities should really see what your provider thinks and how you might be able to best incorporate it into your life. There are plenty of people on the page, Aortic Athletes, that are very like-minded in their passions, and I think that's wonderful. And they have had those conversations with their physicians on if they want to do an Ironman, if they want to be go into a what's it called? What's it called? Um, Triathlon. Oh, I think that's the word. Sounds weird saying it. I'm having
But
a brain issue, right?
triathlon?
Yeah, there are people that like to do triathlons.
Oh, of
That's what
course
it's
there are
called, right?
people that like to do them.
Right. I just sounded weird, the name. Regardless, there are people that have varying degrees of wanting to work out with weights or kettlebells or uh, CrossFit. Some of these things I can personally shake my head and be like, well, why would you want to tax your body? But it doesn't matter. If it's important to you, talk to your physician, see how you can incorporate that and how they can change your parameters of blood pressure and heart rate. Exercise studies, research studies are being done all the time. That's why Jack's been so great in interviewing a variety of different physicians here on AHTV to get their latest and greatest thoughts and research and scientifically backed information regarding exercise when you are an aortic disease patient or post dissection. But exercise is only good as it's sustainable. So if you find you really enjoy doing certain things like walking or swimming, if you like doing those things more than jogging and biking, that's totally fine. Prioritize the things that actually make you happy. This way, exercising becomes more like a hobby and not this chore, right? So this article also shares information when it comes to your METs, and that's metabolic equivalence, which helps quantify how physically demanding different activities are. So for those just starting out your workouts, it might be beneficial to start with lower METs, less such as walking or gardening or cleaning out your pantry. And as your body becomes more conditioned to that daily activity, then you can choose an activity that has a higher MET. So here's some examples. So lying quietly has a MET of 1, right? Just lying still like water. But if you want to shoot some pool, now you're up to 2.4. Yeah, 2.4. If you are unloading the car with groceries, that still is activity. That's now a 3, right? If you're unloading your wife's car, that's going to be maybe even more after she's gone on one of these retail therapy trips. Playing singles tennis, you're looking at a 7 to 12, all the way up to just running or playing squash, you're in that 12, 13 range. So picking something that's down here, raking the lawn, do not shovel snow, stuff like that, you're going to be in a lower MET. Might be more beneficial to talk to your physician about starting off something slower. So that was Adam's article for the week. As he says, he hopes you all crush your goals this new year, and speaks to everyone with Aortic Hope to say we're obviously very grateful for all of you and to allow us on this journey with you. Um, and remember to think aorta, think family. So that was the article for his topic Tuesday, first one of 2024.
I love those guys.
Boop, boop. Yep. May make learning this stuff so easy, like so much easier and fun, I think, that because you can tell that they're enjoying writing it, which then makes it fun for me to read
Yeah,
it.
he really does. He looks like he puts a lot
Yeah.
into it. I love that.
Yeah.
They both
Yep.
do. They're great.
Yeah. They really do. They really do. All right. I'm becoming sinusy right now. All right.
Yeah.
It's Therapeutic Thursday. Are you considering a new treatment or a new medication? And anything new and change can be overwhelming, right? So what questions do you even ask your doctor when they're bringing up the idea of changing your med or introducing a potentially new treatment or diagnostic tool? And the best way to get through that is to think brains. And this idea actually comes from our director of genetic education, Ryan Rodimer, and he says this is how you use the acronym BRAINS. So B, what are the benefits of the new fill in the blank? What's the benefits? And then you want to find out R, what are the risks for making this change or adding this whatever fill in the blank thing is that's causing stress. And then A, what could be the alternatives? So B, what are the benefits? R, what are the risks? A, what are the possible alternatives? And then I would probably say go back to B and R for your alternatives. I would be intuition. What is your gut telling you about what's being proposed? And N, what happens if I don't do this now or I don't ever do it? And these are all questions to talk to your doctor about. And S, when you're in doubt, get a second opinion, right? Or if you need just a whole fresh new set of eyes, there's nothing ever wrong with that. So you have a doctor coming to you saying, you know what? I think that you might want to look into a mechanical valve versus a tissue valve. Well, what if you were thinking all along you wanted tissue, and now the doctor's like, but if you were my family member, I would be doing mechanical, and here's all the reasons. You want to take a minute because it's going to be very stressful, and you want to say to yourself, all right, so what's the benefits of doing mechanical now over tissue? What are the risks of doing mechanical over tissue? What are the alternatives to mechanical? Well, it's tissue, right? What's your gut telling you now that you know all the different pros and cons between the two? And what's going to happen if I don't choose this, whether it's now or I just don't choose it ever? And then, you know what? I think I'm going to talk to somebody else and just can let a fresh set of eyes tell me what they think they would suggest I would do. You just implement that with anything, right? If you have a doctor that says, I think we want to try a 24-hour halter or a 24-hour blood pressure reading, a test. Well, why am I doing this? What's the benefit of doing this test? What are the risks? Blah, blah, blah. Go through the brains. Go through the brains of it all. That's what Ryan says.
He's
So,
another one. I miss his face.
well, you should be meeting up with his face soon because he wants to record all of the things that he did for us and
That
create
would
some
be
new content.
wonderful. Yeah. He doesn't he's another one who puts in so much work and effort.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It
God,
would be
he's
nice to
his
hear him.
story. I remember the first time he was in the support group and he told his story. Oh my God. I don't think he was trying to be funny. I think he was just being Ryan, but I just could not stop laughing at the way he
Well, that's
told
at
his
least a good
story.
way.
Yeah.
That's great. All right. As I'm gonna start failing soon. Okay. I'm getting tired. Just a lot of work for me. All right. Let's not do that. Let's not do that cough. Let's just say welcome to Claire Platt. Who's Claire? This is Claire. Claire is now an official volunteer with Aortic Hope. Her responsibilities are actually to assist with the distribution of our patient guide and any other administrative duties that we kind of need. We love her passion and her interest in aortic disease, and we're kind of really thrilled that she's going to continue working with us since she started with our guides at the tail end of 2023. So Claire right now is wrapping up her junior year at Long Island University. I don't even know what Claire isn't doing. So she's obviously pursuing her bachelor's degree in nursing. In addition to her time on her college swim team that she's very active with, Claire is deeply committed to learning about aortic disease. She's currently doing research on a variety of topics pertaining to aortic disease at Maimonides Medical Center, where she does work with our very own Dr. Ben Udelman. She's joined she's joined our team, lending a compassionate hand and a bridge between knowledge and human connection. She is responsible for shipping out all of our guides, maintaining our quantities and in our distribution chain there, and we'll be working on a couple other projects with us. It's so fun when you get medical students, nursing students that want to be involved from the beginning on up. They just start telling all of their friends and it just spreads out, and it's wonderful to see. From what I understand, she's going to become a nurse, do that for about a year or two, and then go into medical school. Her ultimate goal, I believe, is to be a surgeon, a thoracic surgeon. So we hope that that happens for her. She's still, at that prime stage of her life. Oh, to remember what it was like to be a junior in college. But she does a phenomenal job with us, which is wonderful, and we thank her.
Welcome, Claire.
Welcome, Claire. All right, we're almost done, everybody. Thanks for hanging in there, Melissa, Christina, and Tony, Montana. Now that you said it, Josh, I can't unthink it. Well, there's a lot more snow on my trees now that I just looked. Okay. Hey, this is what Christina was talking about. I think the other one ended on the 12th, and I put the wrong date. Sorry, guys, but right now until tomorrow, you can get free shipping on your orders in our Hope Shop, in our store through Spreadshop. Again, there's no code. Just click the word redeem at the top and it'll give you free shipping on anything that you order. Anything, no minimum, no maximum. Just go to our Spreadshop. You can get this link also directly if you go to our Hope Shops at the top of our page on our website, and you will get free shipping. So don't delay. Grab some swag today and start that conversation about aortic disease. Somebody's going to ask you, what is that logo? And you're going to tell them. Okay. This is our general post. I can't drill it in your head enough. We want you to be the shining star in someone's life and be featured in that Survivor series. And there's 3 different ways that you can tell your story. You can submit your story to us in written form with a photo. Well, photo goes with all of these. You can do a pre-recorded video where you can take as many cuts as you need if you feel that you're becoming too emotional, even though we do appreciate the emotion. Or you can go live like I am and start bantering with some community members. Either way, your story will be very therapeutic for you. I promise it will. It might be emotional, but it will be therapeutic because you're going to realize how many other people you're helping, even those who have not had a dissection or have not been diagnosed, but might be a family member, right? And you might be explaining to them the importance of being monitored because we know there's such a high genetic component involved in aortic disease. Look, aortic dissections are rare, but aortic disease is much more common than you think. So if you can tell your story and get a couple people to be monitored so that they're diagnosed before they have a rare, potentially threatening event, life-threatening event, then that's amazing. Look how successful your story would be. But you got to first sign up so we can call you and get you scheduled and featured. Just click the link. That's all you got to do. Click the link. That's our Survivor Series Saturday. All right. Sunday, John Ritter Research Program for Genetic Testing. So this is really important. This is one of two different ways to get genetically tested, through research program, and then you can do one clinically. And we're going to talk about the pros and cons here real quick. If you or one of your loved ones have been diagnosed with thoracic aortic aneurysm or dissection, then, and we just here, thoracic aortic aneurysm only or aortic dissection, then the John Ritter Research Program would really like to hear from you, because you contributing a little bit of saliva, that's a lot of it, but it's still just saliva, will really help them continue their efforts in finding all the mutations and the genetic components that are causing aortic dissections. And the goal in that is, if we can find something in you, the patient, we might know what to look for in your family member to determine if they're also carrying a gene. Doesn't mean that they're going to have anything happen, and there's a 50-50 chance, but at least we know if they have the gene or not, and a doctor can look at them with a different set of eyes. You will only be notified the result if they find something. So if they don't find anything, you're not going to be notified. The other key with this research program is they will not submit the samples to be tested until they have at least 100 participants in a batch. A batch is 100. So if they have 98, you will be waiting before they run that till they get the last two. But once they run it, they keep all the information. It's confidential. They will let you know if they find anything. If they don't, you will receive no results. I'm not sure if you find a result for a variant of unknown significance called a VUS. I'm not sure if that comes up, if they actually send you notification of that. But participating in research helps the community as a whole. Now, clinical genetic testing is different. That's really more strictly for the individual. And that's going to test you for the, I believe there's 38 aortopathy panels right now. And they're going to test you for all of them, similar manner, just like the Ritter Research Program, but you will get those results, and you will probably get them sooner. You're going to get them regardless of what the outcome is. And they will tell you if anything turned up, anything, or even close possibility, something we should monitor, you're going to get the results. Now, if you have genetic testing done and you do not have life insurance and something is found, then that is found, right? You're going to have to disclose that. And it might really cause a problem with you obtaining life insurance in the United States. And it might potentially cause a problem with you obtaining long-term care insurance as well. This goes for your children. So everybody has a very personal choice to make. I don't know that there's a right or a wrong. I think the only 100% right is if you have children or siblings, or your parents are still alive and you have been diagnosed with something, treat all of your family members as if they have it, regardless if they get genetically tested right away or not. They should be monitored. They should have a baseline scan, whether it's an echo, TEE, CT, or MRI. They're all good, except the echo and the TEE will not show the descending or the abdominal. But CT or MRI, both good. One with radiation, one without, one that's fast, one that takes a long time. Those are the differences, but the scans, the results are equally fine. I know everybody says CT is the only one. It's the only one. It's not the only one. You can get an MRI and it'll be fine. But you want to treat your family members, siblings, your first degree relatives as though they have something until you prove they didn't. Because just because you might come back with we don't see anything on your genetics right now, doesn't mean that in 6 years it won't, because it seems to be about every 5 to 7 years there's new genes that are being discovered. So that's why you want to talk to your doctor about having the testing done and done and done, and you just keep doing it if it's of interest to you. But in the least, make sure you have your family members, make sure they know the script to tell their doctors, right? You should be discussing your family medical history, hence think aorta, think family, and determining who needs to be monitored, with the hopes of diagnosing something before that rare aortic dissection happens. But John Ritter Foundation, the John Ritter Research Program, which the John Ritter Foundation donates money to, That's the governing organization that is a research study that is different than clinical. So I don't believe that information is used against you in terms of ratings for insurance or long-term care as a clinical facility would. And if you want to do clinical, you should talk to your cardiologist or surgeon, and they can help you figure out how to get involved with a program like GeneDx or Invitae. But we're not talking 23 Gene and Me or whatever it's called, 23 and Me. That's not the kind of clinical we're talking about. Okay. So just some food for thought and another option for you to consider.
Christina
All
would
right.
like to know if the John Ritter Research Program for Genetic Testing is free.
It is free. That's
Inter-
another bonus. That is free. Having said that, a lot of people believe that the clinical testing is going to cost them hundreds of dollars, and that's not necessarily true. Especially if you've had a dissection, a lot of times that cost is offset for you. They have aid programs if it's not covered by your insurance. I know I've had mine done 2 times. I've not paid a penny, and I have Medicare and a secondary insurance. I haven't paid anything. That gives you some idea. And the second time around, I had my results in under a month. And with the research program with John Ritter, I never received any results, which told me that it was the same basically. They
yeah.
didn't have anything. Although with the clinical, I did find out I had one gene that came back, a variant of unknown significance. So it's just something we're watching to see if more people across the planet end up with that same gene that might become a named thing. How it works.
Right on.
Very interesting. All right, let's wrap this sucker up with talking about some of our events. So tomorrow night, January 16th, 7 p.m. Eastern, we have a live Q&A hosted by Jack Crow and Carmen David from Aortic Athletes. They will be discussing aortic disease with with exercise. What can you do? What can't you do? What can't you do with Dr. Alan Braverman? So this is a live event not to be missed. But if you do, you can go back and you can watch it on replay on AHTV. And if you have an anonymous question that you would like to ask, the information on the link and the form to fill out to do so is all within this post. On Thursday, as with every Thursday, we have our hangouts at 2 p.m. You need to fill out the form to sign up for the support group meetings in order to be notified about this hangout. If that's the vibe you're kind of seeking, you fill it out once and you'll be notified about every support group meeting, including the hangouts. In addition, that evening at 7 p.m., it's a Thursday, so 7 p.m. is boom, qigong. You need to come join us and come move with Aortic Hope. This Saturday, we have our second caregivers only support group meeting. Do I have that time right? 10 a.m. The first one's 4
Yeah,
p.m.
no,
Sometime.
it's 10 a.m. now for both. A poll was sent out to,
Okay.
yeah, at the beginning of the year.
All right.
Yep.
10 a.m. moving forward. Okay. That's good to know. So it's the first Saturday and then the third Saturday of every month, the caregivers only meeting at 10 a.m. Eastern. One's coming up on the 20th. We've got Tammy Warner, one of our board of directors, will be going live with you at our next weekend review. And the only other thing that we have is different from our usually scheduled broadcasts would be our last support group meeting of the month, and that is our evening one that happens the last Wednesday of the month, and that'll be on the 31st at 7 p.m. Eastern. We do not have a guest speaker for this one. We will in February. We also have a live Q&A, one of our most popular live Q&As. That is happening on Tuesday the 30th at 7 p.m. Eastern, and that is with Dougherty, Chella, Keene, and Associates. We have Chris Dougherty, partner, and Barbara Mountain. They're going to be with us discussing everything to do with Social Security disability for the United States and Social Security disability insurance. So SSD, SSDI, I'm on disability now. What does that mean? How do I go about getting it if I had a job, if I didn't have a job? What's the time frames on average across the country? Because it varies state to state. What's the process when I get denied? Because most do. Everything and anything. How much can I earn with disability? Because I bet you didn't realize you can earn a living and still be on disability. Yes, you can. I think you can earn almost up to 1,400 a month and still retain your disability and not lose it for a certain period of time. Actually, for the first 3 years, I think you can earn $1 million a month if you wanted. But we're going to let them talk about it because that's my most fascinating part, is that how people are so scared to work and yet it's encouraged. It really is. and there's ways to do it, and you won't lose your disability. And it's probably important for you to try at some point and see if you can, see if you can do it. So they're going to answer all your questions. Again, if you want to ask an anonymous question, information is in that link that tells you how to do so. Or you can just chat with us on the YouTube channel like you're doing today and ask your questions. So a very exciting January. We're still pulling together our February,
Did
and
you
that's
did you skip past
our
the
month.
Ask a Doctor?
You know what? Hmm, Did I? Did I? Did I? I did
Yeah,
not. I did.
you did. You 100%
I'm
did.
tired. I have a sinus issue. All right, I forgot. The 23rd, we have Ask a Doctor. Ask a Doctor is going to be on YouTube. We've always done it forever on Facebook. Um, Actually, this month it is going to be done on Facebook. What's going to be happening on YouTube simultaneously is that Terry Cook and I are going to be going live on YouTube, chatting about the Ask a Doctor, chatting about a lot of different things on our mind, sharing with you the questions that are being asked on Facebook. So it's like simulcast. That's what's happening. You're getting a 2-for-1. You will come to our Facebook page where you have an opportunity to ask questions of Dr. Prakash. He is a cardiologist out of University of Texas, Houston, and he will answer the questions live for over a 2-hour time period. But for the first hour of that, we're going to be broadcasting here, sharing with you some of the questions that are being asked by community members and the answers that Dr. Prakash is giving. Of course, take all of these answers back to your own physician. Don't just make changes because another doctor said that he would recommend you to. Take it back and have that conversation. And then we're just going to be talking with each other about stuff, filling in those gaps. But if you do have a question for the doctor and you end up on our YouTube channel asking it, I'll type it in on our Facebook page and we'll ask it one way or another. We're going to have you covered. And that's new for us here. We're going to try to cover our bases on two different forms here, like 2-for-1. Is that what it is? It's like a 2-for-1.
A
It's going to be a
twofer.
lot of fun. That's a twofer. Hope I'm not sinusy and nasally, and
No, you
even though I
did
can
good.
breathe.
We want to wish Melissa to get better. She's also not feeling well. She was
I
sick last week at
know.
the hangout.
Yeah, she's not doing
Yeah.
well either. I'm telling you, there's some nasty, creepy crud going around. But thank you, Melissa, for popping in. Even though you're not feeling well, we hope you feel better soon. I hope whatever works for you, you tell me. And if it works for me, I'll tell you because this is not fun. Thank you, Christina, for joining us. And thank you, Tony Montana, for joining us all the way from Australia. We look forward to hearing your survivor story. I want to know what happened over the 14 hours and the complications. And thank you, Joshua.
Always a
That's how I'm
pleasure.
going to say it. Joshua. All right, guys, please join us next Monday, another week in review when Tam Tam's here with you. And don't forget to click like, don't forget to click subscribe and share. Share this on your private social medias platforms because somebody's going to get something out of it. And we want more people to find us. So thanks again. I'll see you in 2 weeks myself and have a wonderful 2 weeks. Take care. Bye bye.